Hello, I'm here to share a little bit about the master schedule in the building. Um, so we have sort of laid this out on Google Sheets because it's more easily adjusted that way, I guess. The process of creating the schedule takes into place, of course, a lot of logistics, such as when lunch is available and shared spaces such as the cafeteria. Um, the other big priority that we put in place for creating a schedule is co-planning time. So that is a priority absolutely for our district. And we sort of start with making sure that all grade level teachers have a shared planning time for 80 minutes throughout the week. And that includes the specialists that co-serve on those teams. So for example, I'm going to go through, you can see just sort of the grade levels here. Um, let's go with kindergarten. So you'll notice that each schedule is sort of laid out by teacher of like what they're doing and when. Um, but you will see that the specials are sort of arranged to make sure that each kindergarten teacher has time to meet together with the EL team, the special education teachers, etc. So that's a really important part of sort of how our schedule is created. You'll notice across the bottom, you can click through to see the different grades and like what they're teaching when. Um, Doing it this way allows sort of anyone who comes into the building, a sub, or when we have specialists who work across grade levels, so like a special education teacher might be in kindergarten and second grade, just sort of prioritize and create their own schedules, of course, with those planning times already put in, but then allowing them to decide sort of like what classes they might be offering direct support to, by sort of seeing those side by side. So then we also have the same for our specialists. So we've got like art here, and you can see whose group is in art at what time. And then there's also a link to the special education and SEA schedules here. And of course, these things all adjust, right? So our goal is to meet student needs first and foremost, and student needs might shift throughout a year. We might pick up a new student, somebody might move away. So these schedules are, of course, open to adjustment as needed. When they're being set, teachers are also consulted, asked for their preferences about when they want that shared planning time to be, what they want to be, what grade they want to be teaching. We can't accommodate everything, but the goal is to sort of make this a schedule that works for everybody. The thing I want to share that might be is sort of helpful to know or interesting is that we do things a little bit differently in our district in terms of scheduling. Many districts cluster English learners or students with disabilities in one cohort with one teacher. That is not how we do things in our district. So we have a proportional representation in all classes and spaces. And then that co-planning is used as a place to sort of create the best possible tier 1 instruction that works for every single learner in those spaces. So when we are aligning staff, so we sort of like students are proportionally represented, then when we're making decisions about where staff support's going to be, those decisions are based off of student need, but also teacher capacity. So if we have a teacher who's just like a really strong reading teacher who's great with working with English learners, they know a lot about language acquisition, we may choose to provide EL support in a different space because that teacher already has a lot of capacity to serve those students. So the staff are aligned, kind of as you can see here. If you're curious, you can poke around in the ICS Equity website, but those teams are aligned to sort of the needs and with, again, the goal of serving everybody in that tier 1 classroom. So I'm just going to scroll down here. You can sort of see, like, first you take stock of all who you have in the building and kind of what your resources are in terms of support. And then the process is to just think about what staff you have, what licenses and expertise, because sometimes those are different things, FTE and staff. Then you think about the students you have, right? Again, distributing them across the sections. And then sort of align those specialists to where they're most needed. So that's sort of our process of how the master schedule is created. And then of course you saw like the physical, what it looks like when it is done. Feel free to let me know what questions you have about that. I know that's sort of different than the way many districts do it. but it's sort of a model that believes in the capacity of staff to serve students, and that staff can teach each other and kind of coach each other in those co-planning meetings to build each other's skill sets about working with all kids. It's really a shared ownership model, and we are committed to doing it that way. So thanks.